Have you ever looked around and wondered if there's a master plan to everything? Some kind of hidden blueprint that's guiding the entire universe. Well, today, that's exactly what we're digging into. It's a concept often called divine providence, and we're going to break down what it is, how it's said to work, and why it's such a fascinating idea.
So let's start with the big question right at the heart of it all. Do you picture the universe as this incredible, magnificent clock, one that was perfectly designed, wound up, and then just left to run all on its own? Or is the creator more like a constant guiding hand, present in every single tick and talk? This is the fundamental question we're going to explore.
To even begin to answer that, we have to start at the very beginning, with the blueprint itself. This is the whole concept of a divine, eternal plan that existed before anything else.
Now, the technical term for this blueprint is divine decrees, or in Chinese, 神的谕旨. The sources we're looking at define this as God's eternal purposes. It's the idea that literally every event is part of a grand design, and it's all for the purpose of His glory. You can almost think of it as the ultimate script for all of history.
Okay, so a plan is one thing, but how is it actually put into action? Well, that's where two absolutely crucial concepts come into play: creation and providence.
First up, you've got creation, or 创造. This is seen as a singular, incredibly powerful event, that one moment when everything was brought into existence from nothing. It's like the starting pistol that set the entire universe in motion.
But right after creation, we have what's called providence, or 神的眷顾. Now, unlike that single event of creation, providence is described as the continuous, active involvement in the day-to-day workings of the world. It's the ongoing process that sustains and guides everything that was created.
So let's just put them side by side to make it super clear. Creation is that one-time act that brought the world into being. Providence, on the other hand, is the continuous, ongoing work that sustains it every single day. One is the starting point, the other is the entire journey.
This idea of constant daily involvement, it really paints a picture of a very specific kind of creator. Not some distant observer, but an ever-present guide.
And this brings us to a really key distinction. On one side, you have the idea of a deist god, that cosmic clockmaker we talked about, who creates something amazing and then just lets it run. But the concept of providence suggests something totally different: a personable God, one who is actively involved, always present, and deeply, intimately engaged with the world. And here's the key takeaway from that. This involvement isn't just stuck at one point in time. No, it's a continuous thread that runs through the past, the present, and the future. From this viewpoint, every single moment of history is under this active, guiding hand. Nothing is left to chance.
To support this idea, the source material points to specific examples. We see claims of sovereignty over the natural world, from wind and storms all the way up to the stars themselves. But that authority is also said to extend to the huge, grand sweep of human history and, amazingly, even the actions of individual people. It's a picture of a really hands-on, deeply involved sovereignty.
All right, let's pause for a quick check. Based on everything we've covered so far, how is God's involvement described? Is it just a past event? Is it limited only to nature? Or is it active across the past, the present, and the future? If you're thinking C, you're right on track. It's understood as this continuous, all-encompassing presence.
So all of this huge, intricate plan, and this constant involvement, it all leads to a really fundamental question. Why? What's the ultimate purpose behind it all?
And the texts we're examining all point to a single ultimate purpose: the manifestation of God's sovereign glory. Every single part of the process, from that initial eternal plan to the ongoing guidance, is all directed toward this one final goal. This concept is deeply rooted in Scripture, with verses like this one from Revelation, which says that all things exist and were created for His pleasure. This really reframes the whole universe, not as just a series of random events, but as a deliberate, meaningful story with a divine author.
Wow, we have gone through some really big ideas today. So let's just take a moment to summarize the key points before we wrap this all up with one final question for you.
So it all comes down to a simple three-part flow. It starts with the divine decrees, that's the eternal plan. Then that plan is put into motion through creation and providence, that's the active execution. And the ultimate goal of it all? The manifestation of sovereign glory, that's the purpose. The plan, the action, and the purpose, all just beautifully interconnected. And that leaves us with one final thing for you to think about. If you were to adopt this perspective, this idea of an ever-present active guide who has a purpose for everything, how might that change the way you look at your own future and the future of the world? It's a powerful thought to end on. Thanks so much for joining me.